All right, buddy. This week on Camera Talk, where are we going? Do you know where we're going? Do you know? Yeah, I know you know because I told you earlier. We're going to Japan! Back to Japan, baby. That's right. We seem to like the land of the rising sun, don't we?
I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so.
Well, what are we looking at this week? It's the last Olympus last Olympus lens that I have in my collection. It's a G.Zuiko 50mm 1.4. Is it any good, buddy? Well, it's radioactive for one thing, so ooh, get it away from us, get it away from us. Don't want to stunt your growth or anything, do we? Have your hair and teeth fall out at an early age.
That's disgusting.
Oh no. So, is it any good though? Yeah, you think so? I think so too. So grab yourself something to eat or drink, get yourself comfortable, and let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. Dylan and I are back this week. Another episode of Camera Talk. What are you laughing at, huh? A little ticklish, are you? What are we looking at this week? Well, just like the intro says, we're going back to Japan.
One ticket to Tokyo, please.
And we are looking at one of Olympus's kind of vintage and legendary lenses from the way back machine. 1970, 1971, in that range. And it's called the Chrome Nose, first version of the G.Zuiko 50mm 1.4. That's right, buddy, 1.4. It's fast. And that day it was fast. They made one faster, which was a 1.2, but Daddy doesn't have that one. So, yeah. As you hear, this dude is just getting over, I don't know if he's getting over it yet or if he's still in the middle of it, bronchitis. Ooh, bronchitis. Ew! Pretty wild stuff, huh? So he coughs and hacks. And actually, he gave me a cough too, so don't be surprised if I cough here and there throughout the video. But anywho, so what are we looking at? We're looking at, again, one of Olympus's cooler lenses. But how cool is it? It's actually slightly hot. It is radioactive. That's right. What kind of radioactivity? Well, it's thorium. Thorium oxide, actually. And, you know, as many people who are into vintage lenses may have heard, various lenses here and there being radioactive, especially from the 1950s all the way to the late 70s. Various companies were using them. And one thing, just to set this record straight, is this thorium oxide is not a coating. So it's not on the outside of the lens or anything. It's actually baked into the glass. So it's a lot less dangerous to you than if it were a coating. It could like flake off onto you and whatnot. But since this is in the glass, as long as you're not breaking it, and so the dust, particles from the broken glass are not inhaled like a line of something.
Oh, if you don't mind.
It's not really.
Then you'd be fine. Overall. I mean, look at the radiation that we gather, just living life. Walking around outside. If you have any kind of like granite tabletop, if you eat bananas, if you sleep next to somebody, people are radioactive, right? You sleep next to them, you're getting radioactivity, and so on and so on. X-rays from the doctor and the dentist and everything else. So we get radioactivity from us all the time, flying around the world or flying here and there. Anywho, so it's nothing to be frightened about. Just be careful. As I said, don't sleep with it under your pillow. Don't make some some bling bling necklace out of it or anything. And you'll be relatively safe. There's, you know, I've seen, I don't know if they're still out there, but I've seen videos on YouTube in the past where, you know, they use a Geiger counter on a lens and, you know, it read whatever its rating was, radioactivity, and then just taking a simple pair of eyeglasses, placing them over the lens and then doing the Geiger counter again. And the exposure is greatly reduced. So just by wearing a pair of glasses, you know, you're that much safe. So again, think of this lens, just to give you an example. Think of this lens, putting it on your camera, and as you take pictures, the body of the camera itself, no, not yet, buddy, it's not that time yet. The body of the camera itself is going to block a majority of that, that exposure as well. But just as I did here, putting a radioactive lens on your mirrorless camera and leaving it there is not the healthiest thing for your camera either, because the exposure to the radiation will damage some of the pixel cells in the sensor. So obviously leaving it for a little while is not going to do a whole heck of a lot, but I mean, if you leave it there overnight and forget about it and it's on there for a couple of weeks, you may have some dead spots on your sensor. So just be aware of that. Anyway, that seemed to be a long explanation as talking about radioactivity. So what else can we say about this? Well, Olympus, again, Olympus is one of those cameras or one of those companies that's been around a long time. They started off kind of like a majority of the other manufacturers out there, you know, the Leicas and the Carl Zeisses and you know, Nikon, and you know, a lot of these big name companies out there started off making microscopes and thermometers and things like that way back. And Olympus got in the game in 1919 with microscopes and thermometers, and eventually diversed off into the world of photography. So their very first camera was brought out in 1936. And then they progressed through there. They were kind of famous for being one of those companies that designed things in a compact way. The camera bodies were compact, the lenses were compact, as you can see. So that was their kind of their niche. And then once the 21st century rolled around, they decided to you know, jump off into a new arena, and that was the Micro Four Thirds, along with Panasonic. So by 2010, that's all they were producing. And then by 2020, a company called Japanese Industrial Partners, maybe Japan Industrial Partners, I forget if it was Japan or Japanese, JIP is their acronym, bought them up in 2020. And has been kind of running with them since. Everybody thought that would be the death knell for Olympus, but JIP's keeping them alive, bringing out new product and everything else. So good for them, keeping Olympus going. So anyway, back to this specific lens. It was the chrome nose, the first version, brought out in 1970 to 71, and it was single coated. Again, thorium oxide, doped glass. You know, and you may ask, well, why people even put radioactive stuff in it? It helps with the refraction elements in the lens, so they can make them thinner without too much curvature, and then they transmit light in a better way, so to speak, just to keep it in simple terms. So anyway, but you know, again, the reason the industry stopped using like thorium oxide wasn't for the consumers. It was for the factory workers, the ones who had to grind the glass, obviously, and polish it and whatnot. So you can imagine the dust coming off of that glass was not good to digest or ingest.
I'm melting!
Inhaling that kind of stuff destroys the lungs and everything else, the alpha radiation, our skin kind of keeps that from getting in and hurting us. But once it's inside your body, that's a whole new ballgame. Once it gets into the cells and everything, and damage really happens from there. But anyway, I thought I said enough of the radioactive chat from here. So anyhow, the next version after this is all black. So it's no longer a chrome nose. The chrome nose is, again, the little ring around the outside, silver ring, silver colored ring. And after that, it was all black. And once you went black, it never went back.
They said you was hung! And they was right.
So, and it was no longer radioactive either. So anyway. But this baby, if you want to talk about the specs real quick, huh? What about the specs on this thing? Yes. 7 elements in 6 groups. And that brings us to the name of the lens. Again, is G.Zuiko. And you may wonder, G, like what? Like good God, or gee whiz, or what's the G stand for? Well, the way Olympus used their naming scheme, which other manufacturers did the same thing, was putting a letter designator for the number of elements. And G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, therefore a G.Zuiko has 7 elements. Simple, right? Anyway, that's where it comes from, so now you know. Now you know. Hey, get out. What are you doing? Play with yourself on YouTube.
Stop playing with yourself.
Hey, good God. See, there's that cough that he gave me. Thank you very much. Close focus, 45 centimeters. About here, not bad. It has 8 aperture blades. Bokeh, like they also make one of these 1.8, so 1.4, 1.8. The bokeh is actually not bad on this one. The 1.8 is a little busy, a little on the jittery side. Messy maybe is another word for it. So the 1.8 is definitely or 1.4 is definitely the one to choose from between them. And they're 177 grams, so they're not too heavy. Again, they're very compact. They're almost pancakes. Like if I brought that all the way down, it's about yay big. Yay big.
That's how you use it.
And what else? I told you it's single coated. The all black version is multi-coated, and you could tell by the color if you hold it up to the light. This version here has a reddish magenta tone to it, catching the light. The multi-coated version has a greenish tint to it, so that's one way to tell, besides the fact that there's no chrome nose on it. Blah, duh. Wide open, performance. Now let's talk about performance, mister. Wide open. It's okay. I mean, some people say, ooh, it's sharp. I don't think so. It's sharpish, if that you can use that word. Now that's in color, and that's on digital. I mean, this is a 42 megapixel camera, right? So you can really zip in on the detail on that. But it's better on black and white film, which it was designed for in the first place, right? It was one of the OM, Olympus OM bodies when they were making SLRs, and obviously back in the film days, so they were designed for that. So, but they were even still at that time better for black and white photography than they were for color. Now, if you wanted to check out its sharpness, now you stop down a bit. Even f2 is better than 1.4. But up from there, 4, 5.6 and whatnot, it's very sharp, contrasty, it's very compact, solid build, just like all the older vintage lenses is all metal, and it's built to last a lifetime. And it's relatively economical. I mean, I bought it for 80 bucks, and it's probably a year and a half ago maybe, and now they're between that and 150, I think was the top I found on eBay looking this up. So it's still even not very expensive. So anyhow, so it's a good walk around lens. Not heavy, it's not going to weight your camera much. As you can see here, even on it, it doesn't, if it was a heavy lens, it would tip the body forward and hit the desk, but it's not until I push on it, of course. So it's not a heavy front end heavy lens at all. And even if you switch them out with others, like I have the 85 and the 100 millimeter, which are almost the same size, a little bit bigger, but carry those things around in your pocket. What else can I tell you about? Well, wide open again. As we said, it's a little soft, so it's good for portraiture. Doesn't vignette like a lot of other vintage lenses would, wide open. And but you may have some focusing issues because it does have a pretty narrow depth of field. So once it's wide open, it's razor thin. So just jarring back and forth may take you out of focus. So pay attention to that. And luckily, with digital cameras now, oh well, if you take a bad shot, just take another one. It doesn't cost you anything. So not bad, not bad, right? How about Zuiko? Where's that name come from?
I don't know.
Have you ever asked that? No, you never. You don't give a shit, do you? Ooh, Zuiko, who cares? Zuiko, translated, means light of the gods. Oh.
Do you see the light? What light? Have you seen the light? Yes! Yes! Jesus H. Goddamn Christ! I have seen the light!
You're like, what the? Yeah, so light of the gods is where that comes from. So, hey, 1.4 sucks in that light, right? Light of the gods. So what I normally do is give you a little sample of what it looks like from here. I'm about in between 1.5 and 2 meters from my Canon M50, which is recording this video. And I focus in on the nameplate on the end of the 15 to 45 EFM kit lens, and see how sharp I can get the writing at the end of the lens. So let's test this baby out. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yes. Are you sure? He's like, stop trying to make me talk. All right. Let's do wide open. We always start out right wide open, right? So get your head back in your position, and let's see. Wait, first, hold on. Steady shot. Let's check steady shot. Now, see, I got it on 28 millimeter. Let's get that up to 50. Yeah, much better, huh? All right. So, might as well make use of that stabilization, right? So, let's see. Ooh, yeah, very shallow depth of field. Just one little nudge one way or the other. All right, right there looks good, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and let's do 5.6. Same thing. Get in tight, and of course 5.6 is much sharper. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that was again a real world sample of what it would look like from here. You like that, huh? So how about some shots of this guy? Let's see some shots of Dylan. Yeah. All right, so let me show you some pictures I just took of Dylan before we started this video. So this is straight out of camera, by the way. No post editing or anything else. If I like any of the pictures, maybe I'll do something like that and post them on Instagram or Facebook or something so the family and friends can go, oh, isn't he cute? All right, so here's Dylan at f1.4. Is he a handsome man? Huh? Dylan, a handsome man? Oh, you're gonna be shy, faker. He's a little diva. He loves looking at himself on YouTube. Shows all his friends and family. Look, here's Dylan on YouTube. I let Daddy join me on my YouTube channel. And here's Dylan at 5.6. Okay, so what do you think, you stinky? Did that show off your better side? Huh? Did that show off your gorgeous side? Is Dylan a gorgeous little model? So how about our random pictures? Huh? We got some random shots too. You know, rainbows and butterflies, bunny rabbits, butterflies, flowers, trees, cars, beautiful women, other children. Other than Dylan? No, not other children. So anyway, here's some random photos using this same lens at f whatever. All right, so that was our Dylan show. That was our random image selection. So is there anything else we can talk about with this lens, Dylan? No, we pretty much covered everything. All right, I think so too. Can't think of anything else I can really add to this. Can we recommend it? Should they get this lens? No! No? Well, you rat bastard. Well, I think you should, especially for the price, you know, of these things. Don't listen to him, whatever you do. I know that's what he's probably saying about me. Don't listen to him, whatever you do. So anyway, if you get a chance, grab yourself one, or not. You know, and I'm not trying to make you buy anything. It's not like I get a commission off of anything you purchase. So, but speaking of that, though, speaking of commissions, how about we talk about our photo editing software? Who do we use? We use Luminar. Luminar AI and Luminar Neo. That's what if you've been watching the slideshow behind me, that's what I use to edit my photos. And Luminar Neo is their latest, greatest one. It's the, you know, if you get on their website, that's the one they're going to be pushing to sell to you. It's a combination of AI, which used to be a standalone product. Maybe you can still buy it, I don't know. And Luminar 4, which was the predecessor to this one, to Luminar Neo. So it's a mosh pit of this and that. And of course, you know how ChatGPT is, ChatGPT is in the news and everybody's talking about this and that. Well, AI is all over this thing long before that ever came along. So, hey, it's great for taking care of spot and dust removal or power lines. You just click on one button and it analyzes your photo and finds the power lines and just takes them out for you. Or spots, let's say you got dust on your sensor or anything else, it'll remove them for you without you having to go in and brush things out or spot them with your eraser tool or any other thing. It takes care of it for you. So that's pretty cool. That's background removal, you know, changes the scene lighting. You know, if it's on one side, you want the lighting over here, it can move it over there for you. It's kind of cool. But anyhow, so it's full of all kinds of bells and whistles. Oh, what is AI? We keep talking about AI. What does AI mean, mister? Huh? You know AI? You know AI? Come on, you do. We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and months. You got to know what it is by now.
What, do you live under a rock?
So, give us the definition. AI is... No, it's not that. It's not that. What the heck? So, all right, look at my finger. All right, mister. Artificial intelligence. That's right. I know. Maybe AI can take over Dylan's intelligence someday. Dylan AI. So, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you want to save yourself $10, if you want to buy a copy of Luminar, click below. Sorry. You and your cough. Click below. There's a link in the description. Click on that. It takes you to Luminar. You buy, you know, pay whatever they're asking you to pay. They'll automatically deduct $10 off of that because you used my link. And what do they do with that link? That link? What do they do with that $10? They give it to us as a reward for having somebody buy their stuff. And what do they call that? What do they call that if you get money for something? They call that kickback. Everybody loves kickback, right? Yeah, kickback. Oh, big yawn. Oh yeah, well it is 10:30 at night. Oh, I got you up past your bedtime, mister. It's all right, you can go to sleep after this, if you're not already sleeping. So, get yourself a copy. What are you going to do with that $10? Going to put it in the bank? Huh? Are you going to save it up or give it to Daddy when he's an old guy in a wheelchair and old decrepit me can't even get around?
At least we're not fucking idiots.
Maybe you can buy me, you're going to buy me some binoculars? Buy me some reading glasses, maybe? Buy me a nice Porsche. House by the beach with a pool. Stuff like that, right? Anyway, now how about we get our viewers to help us support our channel, right? Wrong hand. Let's start with the left hand. Subscribe. Yeah. You want to do one on this side? Subscribe. Well, how about two fingers? Come on, your two fingers, my two fingers. That's 4 fingers. Subscribe. You want to do everything you can not to help Daddy, huh? Yeah, you subscribe. That helps expose us out there in the world. And what else does YouTube like besides subscribers? They like the thumbs up, right? If you give us a thumbs up, we can share with you a little clip of thumbs up girls, which Dylan has the hots for. He wants to marry them all someday. You're going to be like living in Utah or something, and you have like 7 or 8 wives. Good for you. So here's a little sample of the thumbs up girls. Thumbs up, do 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 do. Thumbs up. Aren't they cute, huh? Aren't they cute? So, anyway, we are Modesty Photography. We're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, introducing cameras and lenses and vintage stuff, and maybe tips and tricks, helping you out with your photography, whatever. We like to talk about that here on Camera Talk. So, anyway, I think that was about it, right? So, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for buying a copy of Luminar. And thank you for just being you. Because you belong here. That's what I would tell my students in class. And where do they belong, buddy? What's the name of this show? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. So come on back next week. We do one of these every week. Every Friday, Vietnam time. So that could be a day before your time, a day after your time, or the same time. Because we're here in the time warp. Do. So, you ready to say goodbye? That's it? Bye? So, wait. Sit on this side. So, are you going to say bye-bye?
Bye.
All right. So, thanks for dropping by. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Here I am,